Hello, friends. So I'm actually shooting meal 2 while working still on meal 1. So I do believe before I had mentioned that with slight modifications to your diet, a dehydrator can be one of your best friends. It can also help you save money in the long run because eating lower fatted foods, lower in fat and whatnot, not only is it a little bit healthier, but also you can dehydrate it and save it for later. So you're not letting food get moldy or rot in your refrigerator. You can keep it for later. And the bonus part is when it comes time to eat something and you say you're not in the right mood, you can literally pop some water into a electric kettle or find other sources to heat water, put it with your food, and boom, you have a meal instead of having to do a whole lot of prep work. So that said, that's what I'm doing right now. So this is leftovers, and this weird gelatinous looking blob. What is that? It is actually vegan cheese from Macaroni and Cheese. Now, we do eat macaroni and cheese. We eat a lot of cheeses. We do eat a lot of dairy. The reason I did this is that when I had made my Costco order for a delivery, the guy, he didn't grab the right milk. He grabbed regular milk. My kids are lactose intolerant. So, because they had been drinking regular milk and I didn't catch it right off the bat, because the two milks are almost identical except for one says lactose free and the other one doesn't. So if you're just accustomed to seeing it as, you know, the organic reduced fat milk, you're not thinking, oh, is it lactose free or not? So once my kids started having reactions, it was one of those, oh, what happened? So we look at it, oh, that would be why. So one day they had requested that we do a dairy-free pasta dish, and I happened during my food scrolling, I happened across a vegan cheese recipe, and you know what? It was pretty good. It's not super cheesy. There is notes of cheese, but it is a really pleasant sauce. So the base of this is tofu, cashews, and I think I used coconut milk, which is whatever plant-based milk you're going to use. But I did use a coconut milk. So the cashews do make it a little bit higher in fat, but I also plan on keeping this in the freezer until we're using it, or up until the point. Even though I'm only a couple days out, because I think you can do like a somewhat fatty thing in the dehydrator for up to a month before it might get a little rancid. So that's what we were trying to avoid. So what I'm going to do is I still have my parchment paper from the rice. The game plan is I flipped it over, so it's kind of still fresh and clean. So when you're doing sauces, you're only going to get the use of, I think, one sauce out of it. But if you do like something like veggies or rice or whatever, and then you do a sauce, you at least get 2 in there. So that's what I'm doing. So it's a little less work for me here. So I'm going to go ahead and spread this out. And I am going to use the top forced air dehydrator for this so that it dehydrates significantly faster. My other one's still running, which is why I'm in the midst of a video So we'll go ahead and move there. So I'll show you what it looks like when we spread it out. Really quick, I am actually going to put it in, I just thought about it and I was like, well, how am I going to measure it? I'm going to use the 8-ounce jar in order to measure this out and spread it out. So I'm hoping to get 2 good shmeas onto that for each 8-ounce jar. Okay, here we are. This is actually 1 8-ounce jar. So it's going to look like each 8-ounce jar is going to have its own tray. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. And here we go, tray number 2, and boom. So that's pretty awesome. That's 2 servings that could have gone bad. Instead, we're going to utilize, as I said, I know a lot of you guys are like, well, yeah, you're saving money because you're saving it, but why are you going to take it with you? And that the short answer is, it is not ideal to give lactose intolerant children cheese, or actually, I should say, like the powdered cheeses and whatnot, while we're driving, because that could prompt a reaction, and then we would be stopping every about half an hour or so. And that's just not fair to them. It's not fair to us. We just want to get where we're going. So this is a good way to do it. It's a good sauce. They like it. So that's where we're going to go with that in particular. And then we're going to move on to the pasta. Okay, really quick. So for this particular dish, what I'm going to do is we're going to use the Brahmi protein pasta. This is al dente in 10 minutes. I'm actually going to stop, I believe, at 9 minutes, because you want it boiled, not fully boiled. So we're going to go with 9 minutes on there. The reason I'm not going to show all that is it's really noisy with the fan above the stove, and that's just a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cook these, I'm going to strain them, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, here we are. Pasta is parboiled. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this cup and do 2 of these, and 2 of these is going to be the serving. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Here we go. This is the 2 cups of pasta, and it looks like I could actually just spread this out, and what's left in here is for the other serving, and I can put that on the second tray, and all 4 trays will be filled. So we'll go ahead and go from there. Here we are. This is the second portion, and we have a little bit left over, which is kind of awesome because, you know, cooking makes us hungry, right? So this is actually going to be eaten now, and these are going to go right on the dehydrator. And here we are, my friends. So 2 trays of pasta. So that's the 2 servings of pasta and 2 servings of sauce. And I'm going to go ahead and pop the lid on so that we can get the process started. And just a pan over. We have 10 minutes left on the beans and meat. So I will be putting this phone down and moving to my other phone, my backup phone, to finish that, well, to move on to the next section for that. Alright friends, let's see how everything is looking. This actually hasn't been a full 24 hours on this one, but generally speaking, this one rides pretty hard. So the pasta is back to shape. Okay, that's nice and crispy. Let's check. As you can see, we have crackly sauce. So what we're going to do is I'm going to let that cool, and we'll bring it over to the stove so we can keep an eye on it and see if we need to pop it in for any longer or if it's good to go. Here we are, my friends. So we got it already taken over here. It's nice and cooled. So we're going to start off by putting these in the 16-ounce jars, and yeah, we'll go from there. And here we are with the vegan cheese sauce. As you can see, it's crispy. I'm learning from my last one that, okay, so I'm gonna have to dab these really quick. There is a little bit of oil on them. I don't really know how because I didn't use oil for this, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to do a little bit of dabbing, and then what we're going to do, I'm just going to tell you the steps before I go there. I'm going to put it in my Magic Bullet mini cup so that we can powder it. Here we go. So first tray is dabbed as oil-free as I can get it, and now I'm going to go ahead and pop it onto my Magic Bullet mini and try to get this powdered. And I will explain why I like to powder the sauces and whatnot after. And here we are. We have our sauce powder. And I'm wondering if I can just fit it into one of these little 4-ounce jars. So let me go ahead and try to do that. Okay, that was absolutely a fail. That actually overfilled it and wasn't going to leave enough room for some of the water. So here we go. We have a sauce powder. Now, any of you guys who have utilized bouillon or something similar where it's kind of a powdered thing over like bouillon cubes or the like, know that it kind of dissolves a lot faster, significantly faster than, or not dissolves, but it hydrates significantly faster than if it's like in the cube form or whatnot. So kind of this goes along the same path of these are okay, but because they're still whole chunks, like actual chunks, they're not going to rehydrate as quickly and efficiently as the powder does. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. But yeah, this is going to still be a lot of sauce. My goal is, and I know I said this in the previous video, my goal is to be able to show you guys me rehydrating everything, or each meal, each different meal, so that way you can actually see it in action and know exactly how I do it, and how it all works, because, you know, it is a curiosity. We usually stop at rest stops or we stop at parks. We prefer to stop at parks so that my kids can play a little bit and burn off some energy from road trips, and then we can you know, while they're playing and doing that, their food is rehydrating, and, you know, I can sit and eat really quick, and then they can eat in the car, or if we want to sit actually together at the picnic table or whatever, because usually parks have picnic tables, we can eat there and eat together as a family. And then usually parks and trucks or restaurants, they also have water fountains, so we can rinse out the dishes and make sure that they're not caked with stuff while we're driving. So so that it stays pretty efficient and pretty clean. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. So I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on it, because this one is ready to go. So I am going to do the same thing with this as I did this. I don't know if you guys really want to watch me do it again. I just wanted to show you the first one, so that way I'm not burning up time here. So these two right here make a vegan macaroni and cheese lunch. So yes, I do veggies. In some of my next videos I will have vegetable inclusive stuff, but not everybody's going to eat veggies in every single meal. So I just want to put that out there, a little disclaimer, because I know a lot of people are probably thinking that. We do eat a lot of vegetables in our house. It's just that I wanted to get some of the carb heavy stuff that was going to take longer to cook done first, just in case there is an overcrowding issue, for example, with the beans. So I wanted to get some of the stuff that I know needed extra time done first, because veggies dehydrate ridiculously fast. So that said, that's it for today's episode. So here's that meal. And I hope you guys are healthy, happy, safe, and I will see you next time.